A lot of players try to rush the motion when attacking backspin, causing their movements to become frantic. To fix this, try focus on a slow backswing and a slow follow-through. Today, let's talk about what to focus on for your attack right after the serve. For all players whose training doesn't translate to matches, this is your first hurdle. We'll start with attacking backspin. First question, is it easier to attack after a long serve or a short serve? Is it easier after a heavy spin serve or a light spin serve? Actually, the easiest serve to set up an attack is a short serve with weak spin. This weak backspin ball is the best to attack. Because if you serve topspin, the opponent can flick you directly. So why do we need to serve short for a backspin serve and attack? Because after I serve short and they step in, I can then attack with a long ball. This short then long contrast is the most effective. If he pushes a long ball to my forehand and I loop to his forehand without a wide angle, it's very easy for him to defend. So tactically, just like in badminton, you must create wide angles. The opponent's push return is usually a low, weak backspin short ball. This is the easiest type to attack, no matter where you served. First, understand that when serving short, don't choose a very spinny serve. If your serve is too spinny, his push return will be heavy, and you'll likely hit it into the net. Second, don't serve a side topspin with too little spin, because most players will just flick that kind of serve. Also, the rhythm of short balls is hard to judge. So, to easily attack a backspin ball, you should serve a short, weak backspin. Some players might ask, what if he does a short push? The quality of his short push won't be very high. You can counter with a flick, because a short push against weak backspin will inevitably pop up high. Second point, are there players who like to serve long and attack the backspin return? When serving long, you can't serve weak backspin, because the opponent will always try to loop a long ball. Or if they push it, it will also be very awkward for you. For those who like to serve long, you must make your spin more pronounced. For example, I'll serve a very spinny long ball to make it difficult for him to loop, causing him to hit the net. Or I'll serve side topspin, causing him to loop it out. If you serve a half spin, half no spin long ball, the opponent has too many options. Because a loop can negate 90% of the spin. If he loops you, haven't you just been put on the defensive? So in a match, after serving a long side backspin, be ready to play a high spin loop. A high spin loop isn't a high, loopy ball, it's a technique that's mainly friction with supplementary power, making it easy for the opponent to block it off the table. So, focus on friction. But after I serve a short, weak backspin, I can focus on impact, because the goal of this shot is to produce quality. For this combination, I would use 70% impact and 30% friction. After a long backspin serve, I might use 70% friction and 30% impact. You should learn to adjust this ratio based on feel. We're talking about high probability scenarios. If your opponent has a technique to add spin when returning short serves, you'll also need to switch to 70% friction, 30% impact. Let me demonstrate again. Short serves should be low with weak backspin, focusing on speed and quality. Long serves should be spinny and fast, focusing on a high spin loop. Even if the opponent's return is high, don't try to power through it, or you'll definitely hit the net. That's 70% friction, 30% impact. Second major point, your stance after a short serve and a long serve is different. After a long serve, you need to make space. After a short serve, you need to move in. Because for most players, when they step in to return a short serve, their return speed is slow. It's often a soft touch, rarely a high-quality return, unless you know each other too well. Against a soft return, the most common mistake we make is being too far from the ball, causing you to lose your position when looping. This is me teaching you how to play a match, step by step. The difficulty in table tennis is that it's always dynamic. We can only talk about what is most likely to happen. Against a soft return, after serving short, it's not about how close you stand, but about leaving at least one forearm's length of space when you loop the backspin. After a long serve, you need to leave space equivalent to your entire arm's length, so you can generate power. If your opponent can flick your serve, it means your serve wasn't spinny enough. If they can hit a strong winner off your long serve, it means your serve had no quality and was too slow. Your weak serve quality made your opponent strong. Long serves must be low and fast. Short serves must be short and low. When your serve quality is high, the opponent won't have time to execute a high-quality flick or attack. So, look for the cause in your own serve. So, after I serve, when should I complete my recovery? After you serve, you should already be recovered before your opponent even touches the ball. I should have both shoulders facing forward, watching his push motion. If I'm still sideways while he's pushing, I'll be too late for the shot. So you must nail the timing and positioning. What position to get to? After I serve, I'm back before he pushes. During his push, I start to judge. As soon as the ball leaves his racket, I start to move. When looping backspin, we must master the rhythm. What's the rhythm for backspin? Look, this loop hit the net because I rushed the shot. You're telling me to recover fast, but at the same time, you're telling me not to rush it. So what should I do? I need to wait, to have a process of storing energy. If I hit the ball as soon as I get into position, of course I'm rushing the shot. 90% of amateur players are currently rushing their serve and attack on backspin balls. What if, for this shot, I focus on loading up my power and setting my form, instead of swinging as soon as my hand is in place? See if you can play better once you change this mindset. Just like we're posing for a picture, I'll treat this energy storing process as if I'm setting my pose. You have to get the pose right to execute the loop correctly. It's not really a pose, it's the energy loading phase, but we can think of it like this. For every backspin ball, I will first set the pose for my legs, waist, hips, and hands that the coach taught me. The time you use to set your pose is the moment you use to spend rushing the shot. What you're missing is this energy loading phase. The loading phase doesn't mean you should hit the ball as soon as your hand is in position. It's about your body state. Are your legs down? Have you rotated your hips? Is your backswing in place? Imagine this shot as getting all the preparatory movements right first. Trust me, you'll stop rushing the shot immediately because now you have a task to focus on. All of us amateurs start by practicing against topspin. With topspin, you've got to take a quick swing, otherwise the ball will already be past you. So your instinct is to swing immediately when the ball comes to your forehand, and you carry that same mindset to backspin balls. So, from now on, let's change that. After I serve, once my body and legs, meaning all the body mechanics are in position, only then will I think about swinging my racket. You won't need anyone to teach you this rhythm, it will correct itself. Many amateur players lack enough spin and arc on their loops. What do we do in this situation? When attacking backspin, we should take a slow backswing and a slow follow-through. So, we need to change to the following rhythm. Let's start practicing today. First, just try to feel what it's like to create this arc. I'll change my focus to completing the actions the coach described. A slow backswing, a slow forward motion, with no acceleration at first. See how I'm gripping the ball now? First, learn how to create the arc. Then, gradually accelerate. Many players try to complete the motion too quickly when they hit the ball. This causes your movements to become frantic. So for now, calm down and execute the full motion and create a complete arc. My backswing is slow. No matter how fast he pushes, or even if he pushes long, I can use the same method to handle it. We need to complete the second half of the stroke, the arc, and the friction. Don't rush to accelerate. First, I'll ensure a proper contact point, body power, space, friction, and a full arc. Once I have these basics down, I can gradually add quality based on my ability. First, complete the full stroke. Keep the backswing and forward swing speeds consistent. But you must have friction, not just bump the ball. Really feel what it's like to grip the ball and lift it with an arc. Solve the problem of creating the trajectory first, and then on that foundation, gradually add speed and power. Your feel for the ball will naturally improve. Let me demonstrate. Fifth point, what state should your body be in after recovery? The key is to have your knees slightly bent so you can make space for balls to your forehand, middle, or half long. If your center of gravity is too low, your start will be slow, so just a slight bend in the knees is enough. The upper body leans forward to allow for a faster start from the balls of your feet, because if the opponent returns a soft, half-high ball, you can't handle it if your feet can't move. Your feet determine the quality of your positioning, your body, hips, and waist determine the quality of your power, and your hand is just responsible for getting the ball on the table. If your feet can't move, you're just a training player, not a match player. So you must keep your knees bent. Your upper body posture is also crucial. If your upper body is too upright, you're not in a position to attack. For example, if the opponent pushes a half-long ball and your body is upright, you'll probably loop it off the table. If your body is low, you can move forward to meet the ball. After serving, if you plan to loop from both wings, your left foot should align with the sideline, and your right foot with the center line. Your right toe should point outwards to protect your forehand and the middle. So pay attention to your stance after serving. If you stand too far to the left, your forehand is wide open. If you're too far to the right, your backhand is open. So for a serve and attack, your lower body must be in a solid, crouched position. For instance, for a backhand loop, after serving, I open up and get low and solid, then I can loop. Look at my foot position. If the opponent attacks my forehand, I can cover the wide forehand just by stepping out with my right foot. We feel like we have a weakness on the forehand because after serving, we seem to recover, but our steps are too small. This makes us afraid to serve short to the forehand, fearing we can't catch up to a wide-angle push. So after serving, recover with a large step. Once you secure this position, you can use your body's center of gravity to loop from the other half of the table and then think about the forehand side. This applies when serving to the backhand and middle. If you serve to the forehand side, you need to shift your stance during recovery to align the center line of the table with the center of your body. The return will most likely come to the middle area. Even if the opponent pushes straight down the line, don't worry, you can still loop from this stance. If the angle is too wide to loop, just push it back. Most returns to your backhand will also be in a position where your left hip can generate power. Just like how Wang Chuqin stands here after a short serve, ready to attack. This way, the entire table is covered. So, serve to the backhand, cover the backhand. Serve to the forehand, cover the middle. From this stance, you can attack them directly, and you don't have to worry about a backhand return. If their push or flick is too fast, you can also choose to push it back. A push to their backhand will also make them uncomfortable. When you loop this ball after your serve, first, you must ensure you have the proper technique and rhythm for a backspin ball. Since it's backspin, whether forehand or backhand, your body's center of gravity must go down first. This is the primary condition. Second, your stroke must create an arc. You can hit through a topspin ball directly. But if you do that with a backspin ball, not a single one will go over the net. So you must execute a forehand and backhand stroke with an outer arc. Why is Lin Shidong's backhand so good? It's three things: he creates a great outer arc, he separates his upper and forearm, and he whips through the ball like a whip. So remember, whenever you loop backspin, you must create an outer arc, don't push at the ball. As long as you have this arc in your motion, even without using your fingers and wrist, the ball will have a trajectory, just with less spin and speed. Let me demonstrate. After serving, you have enough time to start your motion even after the ball has bounced on the table. Most of the time, when we feel we don't have enough time, it's just in our heads.